As soon as I saw the pink slithering across the flats, it's like a switch flipped. The sluggish pace I'd fallen into by then broke to a full sprint, and I didn't stop until I saw this forgotten-looking building not far from me. I know he can't tell it's me, I know it's all in my head, but the idea of Wolfram feeling my presence on the flats at all makes my skin crawl. I felt better as soon as my feet touched the hardwood. Wormwood Library. Sounds familiar. There's almost no one and nothing there, except one thing. I felt it. I'm sure it could feel me. I stayed in one place until it felt like we both seemed to think the other mostly harmless. I moved around slowly, innocently, searching for paper. When I was rifling through the front desk, I heard little noises from inside. I can only describe them as cute. But when I bent down to look inside, I saw tattered clothes on the floor and got the fuck out of there. Back out on the salt at night again. I started a small fire, the tiniest of fires. It was enough to make them swarm. Creatures making the sort of sounds that tell me I don't want to stick around to find out more. Coming fast, excited. I run for my life for a second time today. The whole time I'm running, all I try to remember is, if you look back, it slows you down. I don't look back. So I made it here to the glass forest. Most seem to have stayed near the fire, but I can still hear stragglers. I caught a glimpse of one, stunted, snarling. So here's me, hyper-aware, alone, cold, hungry, but I am not about to risk another fire.
Wake up to the jive of the bell. No sweat, now I'm feeling swell. Gee golly, it's a beautiful day. Gonna burn my troubles away. I'm going moving, light up the town. The walls that hold me, I'm melting down. I'm rising up like a mushroom cloud. I'm going moving, light up this town. That's right.
This is yet another of those weeks where we show up to record and I sit down and realise I remember literally nothing of anything I've ever done on this show.
How's Moving Castles happening?
The ARG is remembering which Studio Ghibli film we're starting this episode off in.
Porco Rosso! Porco Rosso!
All pigs! All pigs all the time.
That's next season.
Okay.
Spoilers. So last we left this adventure, the party left Harp City in a hurry because the castle's coming for you, which you may have taken as being kind of a synecdoche, but is actually totally literal. The castle itself is chasing you over the salt flats in your little skiff, which you named the Romance Dawn.
Fuck yeah.
So it is the party and your 3 party members, Staples the Aarakocra, Zur the Flying Fox, and Young the Thrycreen, who are also in this boat with you. I guess also Stuart and Clamuel Jackson.
And Sloth Green.
And Sloth Green. So the boat's full already. So you could have gotten a nice luxury boat with like good armor and it was like well taken care of. But then I don't remember exactly what happened. Some choices are made and now you have the bad boat.
This is the best boat. What are you talking about? This is the Romance Dawn.
And also, it's not like I can't have more animal friends, because as I said last time, tiny animals will still fit in my pocket.
Well, I'm glad everything's working out for everyone.
Yeah, we're all having a good time, right? Nothing bad happened last episode. Nobody's injured.
So, I have like a thought of how we can maybe solve this problem. How many hiding places are on this boat that we could stealthily hide away, like the 3 people who the castle's actually looking for? And then when they come past, we just play it really chill. We're like, oh, I'm sorry, officer, I don't know what you're on about. It's just me and my friends on a road trip.
I don't think there's any room.
I mean, it's not a terrible idea.
I mean, because it's the thing, if we start running, we just hide in plain sight. That's how you do it.
I guess the question I would have is, are they going to recognize where the boat came from?
So if you want to try this plan, that's a deception roll, because you're lying about what's happening here.
I like deception rolls.
Let me look at my deception. My deception's not great. How's everyone else's deception?
7! So the streak continues.
Jesus Christ! What did you do to roll 20, Conrad?
I don't know.
8!
I don't think it's working, guys.
13.
It's a terrible idea.
The party fails miserably.
Yeah.
So here's what actually happens. Last episode, Lola rolled perception to see the castle approaching, so you have a little bit of warning so that you're not immediately wrecked. Let me set the scene a little bit more, okay? Because this castle, if you're picturing it like a classic medieval European castle cutting through the salt flats, you're almost there. A couple of details I want to add are the outside of the castle, the walls and parapets shimmer with a kind of magical sheen, obviously, much like the salt in the wake of the castle. You assume that this has something to do with the God King's ability to manipulate salt, but basically the outside of the castle has been coated with salt, and he's using his power to move it while also making the salt under it flow. Another detail of this castle is it seems to have been built into the wreckage of a cruise ship on the bottom, so it like cuts a path across the salt flats. And none of you in character know what a cruise ship is, but it's an enormous like bladed front at the tip, like where in Titanic, where good old DiCaprio was king of the world. There's that bow is coming towards you. So if this ship runs you over, I mean you are dead as hell.
Can I roll a history check about this vehicle?
Yeah, I mean, Sabrina has lived all her life inside this vehicle, so advantage.
Okay, I might need that. I got a 19 and a 15, so a 19, good sir.
19's very good. You can know pretty much anything you want. Do you have specific questions for me?
So have I seen this thing move before?
So you've usually been kept like almost prisoner inside. You've been very, very protected by your father. I'd say you've seen it move, for example, when it docked at the Colosseum and you got out to like watch the fights with your father, and like you see the ship from a distance then, but most of the time you were kept inside. But no, you've seen the outside of it when you get off it, but only at like state events.
Okay. Do I know its like maneuverability?
It's very slow to maneuver, but it's very fast in a straight line. Like once all he's doing is chasing you, this castle is much faster than your two shark horses.
So is the solution like with crocodiles that we have to zigzag run away from
I
it?
was about to say, is it the same way you escape from alligators? You zigzag and climb up a tree?
I almost had something. Is there any like magic effects to the castle or anything like that? Or I guess actually let me change it. Does the castle have a way to like notice something as small as us? Like are there like viewing scopes or things like that?
Oh, the God King can tell when someone's walking on the salt.
Everywhere, basically.
Yeah, basically.
Does he know about what person it is specifically, or just that there is a person?
No, he doesn't have that much control. He like if you got out, he wouldn't be like, "Oh, there's my daughter." He just like it's like the worms in Dune.
Okay.
So yeah, he'd know like if you're maneuvering or running, but it wouldn't have that much granular information.
So specifically, is the boat coming towards us, or is it in our direction? Like if we stopped moving right now, would the boat go straight past us like a cartoon?
No, this is a car chase.
Oh.
It's coming straight for you, this castle, at maximum speed. You're going only a fraction of the speed, and unless you think of something clever, it's gonna win. So this is the chase scene we find ourselves in. The team is going to kind of come up with some creative solutions to get away, and then we're gonna roll, and we'll see if you get caught or not.
Okay, can I use Gus to like help push our boat faster?
Sure. Why don't you do a spell attack against I guess the air's AC? That's nothing, but we're rolling with it because that's the best I have for you.
I got a 14.
Yeah, that's above average. So you speed up the Romance Dawn. You're at the back. Why don't you all tell me what you're doing on this small skiff? It's like basically there's no more room out here in this thing. I posted a picture on Twitter of the Dark Sun sand skiff. This isn't a thing I've made up. What is everybody else doing here as Sabrina runs to the back and shoots out some wind to speed up?
I had two ideas that I think probably aren't that great. They might be nothing. So one thought was, would it do much of anything speed-wise or whatever if I cast jump on each of the shark horses, the shorses? Their jump distance is tripled, but because they're pulling the boat, I think maybe that might not be helpful.
Interesting.
My other idea was, if the boat can be pulled by one, I take off with one of them as like a diversion to try and.
Okay, so Lola, last episode you were picked up by Zur and like taken up into the air so you could see the castle in the distance, like breaking through some clouds because it's just that big. You like turn around and yell to the crew what's happening. You jump back onto the skiff. Sabrina uses Gust, a spell to like push out a wave of wind to speed the skiff up. At which point you see everyone can see the castle like approaching very rapidly, just cutting through the salt flats magically because the God King controls the salt that both the castle is covered in and that the ground is made of, and it's just like a missile through the flats. While that's happening, all around you see the ground begin to like morph and shift. Some like salt crystals are like shooting up and they miss the boat. And then in front of the skiff, a chasm opens up, a small one. It's starting to open up. And you want to use jump on the shark horses to leap over this.
Yes.
So why don't you give me, let's do a magic contest. What you're trying to do is get the shark horses to jump higher than the God King can open the chasm. So he's like ripping the ground open in front of the skiff.
Before the roll happens there, Vindrass would like to cast Guidance to give you an extra d4 that you can add to that.
And as all this has been going on, Khorton will be seated in prayer and awarding a bardic inspiration d6.
Okay. Boop, 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 boop. I rolled a 14.
22.
Well,
You wouldn't even succeed with the inspiration.
If you use the 6, the d6, and the d4, that's up to 10. You would need to almost get all of it together, but it's possible.
Yeah, well, that is possible, yeah.
fuck it. Let's try it. No.
Oof.
Never mind. I'll keep the D4 for later.
Why did we pin any hope on Roll20? That was foolish.
What if I used a second one?
So you didn't botch. So what happens is Lola casts jump on the shark horses. They try to leap over the yawning chasm that the God King is ripping open in the ground ahead of the skiff. They make it, but the skiff doesn't.
Fuck.
And so like they land on the other end, and they like are now you're stuck in like the skiff is like penduluming. That's not even a correct word. Into the chasm. What do you all do as the shark horses try to pull you up desperately?
Are Sodom and Gomorrah okay?
You didn't establish
That's
that
the name of our horses.
Okay.
Yeah, I said last week to the gang, I think they should have rhyming names, but
Can I cast Enhance Ability on them to try and make them stronger so that they can pull us out of the chasm?
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Vindrass, you like reach up and grab the horse. So yeah.
Maybe like cast it through the reins or something, so it sort of travels along the reins to them.
Yeah. So like the skiff is like hanging down at like a 45-degree angle into the chasm. People are sliding back. Luckily, Zur and Staples can fly and like grab people if they fall. Vindrass, you like crawl up and grab the reins and cast Enhance Ability through them up into the shark horses, who get the strength to drag the skiff out of the chasm and back up onto the salt flats where the chase continues.
yay.
We're still going. Woo.
Okay, well, here's a question I have. If the surface of the salt flat is, lying basically above a bed of, ocean or former ocean,
I've got a thought as well.
my thought was to cast Shatter behind us
Oh.
to disrupt the surface of the
That's much
salt
better than my idea.
That's not a terrible idea.
and possibly slow them down.
Well, how much metal and stuff is on the... Because,
It wouldn't stop them, I wouldn't think, but it could at least disrupt their ability, slow down their ability to move a little bit and let us keep going. Of course, now, it's worth noting that this will go horribly wrong. This idea
I
that
believe in
have.
us. Let's
Yeah.
do it.
All right. So Khorton's going to move towards the back of the skiff and cast Shatter behind them to try and break the surface of the salt flat and see if that can slow down the advancement of the castle.
All right. I'm going to try to save for the salt flat, which is a salt flat. So 8. That's not good enough. The shatter blows off the top layer of the salt flat behind you, exposing something interesting underneath, which is a strange dark surface. I don't know if any of you know what it is on sight. Maybe history, everyone.
Oh, but I'm bad at that.
It's my best subject. 18.
I don't know nothing about no history.
13.
4. I really don't know nothing.
15.
All right, 18 and 15, the group passes. You have the highest one. So, Sabrina, I want to say you've seen this stuff before. Your father called it asphalt, and you know he has to go around it. He cannot use the salt. He cannot use the castle to drive over this stuff. It is not made of salt. And you see that Khorton has revealed that this strip of this black surface material that is under this part of the salt extends off like a little bit off your beaten path. So if you would have kept going just straight this way, you wouldn't have reached wherever it goes. But if you turn a couple degrees and take a little detour, you think there's more of this stuff in a certain direction.
I want to make the order for us to do that. To First Mate Young, and then I want to start casting Catapult and just launching rocks into the salt flat to shatter more asphalt.
Ooh, okay. Once again, so this is like the third. I was looking for 3 successful ideas. The first one was Gust, you succeeded. The second was Shatter, you succeeded. And now this will be the third one, and the chase will end in a success. If you fail 3 times, then you would have been overtaken and captured. So this is for all the marbles here. If you succeed, make an attack on the salt.
I got an 18.
Woo!
Did I hit the salt?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, pay me a picture. You guys win.
I want to, I don't know what big rocks we have on the ship, and I want it to comically be that we realized we shouldn't have those. Those have been kind of slowing us down. So really, it's like a double win to launch them into the ice using Catapult and shatter up some of that sweet, sweet asphalt.
And I'm going to give you some of my weird shiny rocks, too.
Fuck yeah.
No, the shiny rocks. Here's the thing we keep missing whenever we talk about Lola's shiny rocks is that it's your spell casting focus.
Oh, never mind. My shiny rocks.
If you give away those rocks, you can't do magic anymore.
I don't know how I forgot that was what that was for.
I forgot. I was looking at your character sheet because Rangers use a component pouch, which is usually like leaves and berries and stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, she reflavored that to be shiny rocks because Lola likes shiny rocks.
So
and
what you're saying is she has had shiny rocks this whole time and could technically have been giving them away.
Vindicated.
Yeah, you could have been giving them away. I knew there was a reason that I didn't want you to do this, and the reason was because you would ruin your character. But you would lose the ability to use magic. But you can give them away if you want.
No, now that I know what they are, I'm good.
Now that I understand the value of them.
Yeah.
I think Zur and Staples go fly out and like pick up clods of salt off the flats and throw them to you, Sabrina, so you can catapult them. Also, I think at one point Young tries to hand you a bag he has at the bottom of the skiff, and then like stops at the last moment and then turns to Khorton and says, "Oh, sorry, this is for you. A rhinoceros man came by and handed me this. He said it was for you. I didn't open it. I don't know what it is."
Good. Khorton just sort of takes the bag.
Yeah, this is Khorton's drugs that he's smuggling. No one else knows about this subplot.
Oh, man.
I'm sure it's a package of cakes. Why else would it be given? Yeah.
Lembus.
That's right.
So, Sabrina, you start catapulting these clods of salt and any rocks that they can find into the ground behind you, tearing up the first layer of salt and revealing asphalt beneath. And you see the castle begin to turn, has like a very wide turn radius, and it's going to have to go around this stuff that you reveal because it can only go through salt. But the direction you're going, you know, this asphalt's getting like thicker, and it's wherever it came from, it's in this direction.
Yeah, that asphalt's getting thick.
Yeah, it's getting thick. So the team is going.
Thick?
Well, you telling me. Do you want to roll for dummy thick?
Yeah, would I roll for that?
Why don't you everyone roll perception to see how dummy thick it is?
16. Make that asphalt cheeks clap.
I got a 5.
Oh my
I got
god.
16.
I know.
That salt is fat.
13.
So with the 16 and the 16, the group passes. Lola, once again, I think Zer gives you a lift to look around. This is just like your two's combo move now. It's been established.
I love it. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yes, and you see up in the distance ahead of you where the ship is now going because you turned off course a little bit away from the gore fields are still generally in this direction. You're just taking a little bit of a less direct approach. You see two things. One is that there is a part of the salt flats up ahead where the surface has already been broken, and you just see like a flat black surface. A second thing you see is a building, or maybe a series of buildings, in the middle of this asphalt.
Strip mall.
I guess I should just tell you there are words on the front of this building or collection of buildings, and there's a word you don't understand because it hasn't been lost to history. It is M-A-L-L.
Mal.
Is it a regular mall or a strip mall?
What if my store's there?
I don't think I've ever seen a mall that's called itself a strip mall. I think it's just a term people use. It's not usually on the outside of it.
Okay, so this is like a mall, or is it like Coconut Point back home?
So this is where they keep the males.
No. They lost like half of the start of the word. It's animal. This is where we find our ranger new creatures.
Well, no, I mean, you look, you see the little top and middle branches fell off of the E. That's all it is. This is where the men are kept.
Yeah,
And hey, I love men. Let's go on.
The hell's an Aeropastel?
I think the technological level is going backwards. Like we started off, you found a mech, which is obviously futuristic. Then you find a skyscraper, which is modern from our perspective. I think this mall would have to what is to us like a 70s vibe. It's it's not a modern mall.
Oh, so it's a Day of the Dead mall. It's the Pittsburgh mall.
It's okay. Well, fine. I guess we can just say it. God damn it, Conrad. So you're speeding towards this, and you know that the ship cannot get you inside this building.
You know what I sure could go for? Goblin.
Congratulations to everyone who knows the band who did the music for Dawn of the Dead. Everyone else, fuck you.
What is a D&D reference? It's, fun.
Yeah. I should have put goblins in this mall. That would have been great.
That'd have been good. That'd have been a good reference.
Let's go find out if there's any leftover soft pretzels.
Is there like a parking garage we can go enter via?
Yeah, where do we park our boat?
Yeah, there's gotta be like a Macy's that had a lot of ample parking
Is there
space.
valet boat
Well, an
parking?
anchor. Yeah, they call those anchors in malls.
So yeah, what do you guys want to do? Just, why don't you paint me the picture of what you do approaching this mall? So you're all in this skiff together. The castle's chasing you, but it has to go around the part where you broke it, and then it's gonna have to like circle around this mall like sharks around a sandbar as you are inside formulating a plan to escape permanently.
Well, I feel like we can drive the skiff into the mall, like, because at some point there will have been loading doors, right?
Yeah, well, they're not going to drive the castle into the mall.
Lola, you say that, and I think Young starts to protest, saying like, I don't know if we can just go right in through the, are you worried about that? And then just Staples pushes them down and grabs the reins and just drives the skiff through the front doors of the mall and just into it and just starts just fucking tearing ass down the middle of the thoroughfare inside the mall.
Well, that was a little bit more violent than I needed, but good job, Staples. Thank you. Are the Shorses okay?
Yeah, the Shorses are very powerful. I think actually okay. So you see Staples do this. Do you want to break the doors before she hits them with the Shorses?
All right, I'm gonna use my heck bow, and I'm reflavoring Hail of Thorns to attack doors instead of a creature, and I'm gonna attack the door with thorns so we don't murder the Shorses.
Okay, so you shoot one of Stuart's quills into the big glass doors at the front of the mall, and the magic spell makes the bolt explode with thorns, or does it explode into something else, or you're flavoring all of it?
No, it explodes like out of the like first quill, so it's like just like a whole bunch more quills.
Okay, so you do a quill storm.
Quill storm, yes, quill storm. I don't know why I rolled attack on the door, but I got a 20.
All right, you blow the doors in. They're glass, and they just explode inward in a shower of shards. And the shark horses ride in after them. They have, I guess they have hooves, so they're
Horseshoes?
not hurt.
Yes,
Yeah,
they have hooves.
Can I cast Gust to keep any glass from blowing into the boat?
Yeah, Yeah.
Sure, this team has a vendetta against spell slots. They hate them very much and want to get rid of all of
Gust
them.
is a cantrip. Thank you.
Well, I don't really use mine for much of anything else, so I'm cool.
Okay, So Sabrina, you protect everyone from the glass shards. I think you see Staples go, "Oh man, I was really hoping we get a kind of raining blood situation going."
I guess you could just go pick up some glass off the ground if it's a really big deal to you, Staples.
Yeah, she leans over the edge, grabs a handful of glass, and just crushes it in her palm and smiles.
Okay, will you let the horses lick that before we bandage it? They need fuel. I don't know we ever gonna get more blood.
Well, I guess if we're inside here, we can, quickly try and scrounge up some resources. Maybe, there'll be some good resources for fire magic in this Seer's place.
Yeah, I want you all to describe to me how you loot this mall, what rolls you use, and then roll them. This is basically, it's almost like a downtime scene, but it's kind of like preparing for a conflict because the castle is now circling the mall in the salt, trying to figure out what to do because it cannot approach because of the parking lot.
So I have an important thing. I would like to go to a store. It's called Fuzzy Wall. It can be found at the Capital City Mall. We sell all sorts of skateboards and Dungeons and Dragons paraphernalia. So I'm going to learn about the universe we're in and give me narrative advantage during the next conflict.
I would like a check in the mail for that one.
Okay. We will not give it to you.
Fair enough. All right, tell me what you all do.
Is there a boardwalk prize?
Whatever you want. This is for you. Tell me what your 4 characters do.
I know for Vindrass, the priority is going to be to try and find more food and drink that we can take because we may have to be on the run for a little bit now.
Yep, that's survival.
Okay.
Are you in the food court?
Yeah. And anything
Okay.
that happens to be out of date, I've got Purify Food and Drink, it'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. The very good spell.
20 on my scrounging for food and drink.
Yeah, with a 20, you tell me what happens, and then I'm actually going to have Staples be with you, and we're going to have a little conversation. But first, you tell me what you find and how this all works out, because you nailed it as good as it can be.
So I assume that I would probably end up gravitating towards the food court, and after digging around the back of some of these buildings, there's maybe like a not particularly great like cafe or something that does like nothing is fresh. Their entire storeroom is just tinned everything that has infinitely long storage dates and will survive far beyond the end of the world. So I think it is just stacking up with as many big boxes of just like tinned beans and tinned sausages and just anything that can come in a can.
All right, yeah, Staples walks with you and is like picking, as a vulture can pretty much digest anything, is picking up the non-edible rotten food and just gulping it down her disgusting gullet, still just playing with the shards of glass in her hand. Aren't you all at all worried that I'm going to try to get revenge on y'all for killing my gang members back there? I just thought it occurred to me that that's something people normally would worry about.
Well, I mean, if you were going to do that, I think the time to do it would have been while we were really distracted about the big murder boat that was coming. Like, we were all not paying attention to you in the slightest. It would have been the perfect time to get revenge.
You're right. I just, people are usually paranoid around me. You've been very accepting. Are you, she like looks around and she says, "Are you cool?"
Hey. I'm pretty chill. I like to think. I hope. I think I'm pretty cool. Am I cool?
She says, "What's up with the nose guy? Are you like with him or?"
Oh yeah, he's wonderful. He's Vindrass. He's the wrong fucking character. He's Khorton. He is a wonderful, wonderful man of many, many, many exploits, and he's just someone that preaches sharing love, and love shared freely and equally is a beautiful thing, and I am traveling with him, and he is a very, very lovely person. He's very, he's good.
So horny.
I don't know about all that sharing business. Honestly, there's not much challenge in him. He looks kind of pale.
I mean, stick around and find out. Get to know him more. I think you would find him interesting.
I just don't know how much fun he can be if he can't put up a fight. He's lost so much blood. That's the best part of the man.
I mean, I can patch him up enough that he can always, he's not going to lose this fight.
Okay, so you got a 20 on this, so you're very successful. You demonstrate your ability to provide for the group. And Staples is willing to give Khorton a chance, although she's skeptical.
I don't have the diagram anymore of his wonderful exploits with the mech, do I? Because otherwise I was going to show that and be like, look at the wonderful thing he did.
No, right now that's circulating through the different settlements throughout the flats.
I recognize this is helping his standing in the flats, but right now I want to impress this slightly blood and pain obsessed bird. Like, no, I want you to find
And yet
him cool.
strangely attractive bird.
Yes. As we head back to the group, Vindrass is trying to come up with every impressive anecdote possible about Khorton to regale.
So, Khorton, meanwhile, he's going to go look for fabrics. Primarily white fabrics, to try and create some sort of camouflage to possibly slip us out while the castle is still figuring out how to get to us.
Oh, so like to cover the skiff to move
To
it
cover
across
the
the
skiff
salt.
with. Yep.
That's, once again, a deception. This is the thing we tried at the beginning of the episode and failed.
Well, I have every confidence that Roll20 won't continue to stick it to me again and again and again and again and again. And 17's not terrible.
Oh.
No, so this is very good. Tell me exactly what you want to happen here, and I'll say how it works like 95%.
Okay. So, Khorton goes looking for linens, primarily. Bed sheets, things like that. Some fabric emporium or whatever. Specifically getting, stuff that will match up to the salt, so that once we exit, we just hit the salt and we go, and they won't see us because it's fucking salt everywhere.
So you're in a Joanne Fabrics, is what you're saying.
Right. Yep. Sure. A Joanne Fabric. I mean, it could even just be a department store getting bed linens. But, it would have to be a lot of them. A Joanne's, you could get by the, bolts of them and wheel them out and fix something together.
So Young is following you. Their giant bladed arms kind of like folded nervously. They don't really have the fingers to do like a tenting there, but if they did, they would be tenting their fingers nervously, and they're following behind you, Khorton, and saying, are you sure this is gonna work? He's gonna feel the skiff on the salt. What are we gonna do about that?
One step at a time. They won't be able to see us. That's one thing. Now we might have to get wet.
What does that mean?
Well, if we can dissolve the salt ahead of us as we go, he won't be able to feel us on it, would he?
I guess he might feel it dissolving. I don't know how it works exactly. Oh man, I'm nervous.
Don't be afraid. The universe provides. Why, it's brought you to us.
So you got a 17, so you're looking pretty competent now, and Young is somewhat reassured by that. I think they also say to you, like, what was in that bag that the beetle guy brought? He works at the apothecary. Do we have medicine now?
Unfortunately, no, we don't. It's not our property, but this will ensure that we could have medicine in the future.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's good. You're like the leader guy, right?
Well, now, I like to think of us as a collective, a group of people working together towards a common goal. I'm just one humble servant of many to the whole, if you know what I mean.
You're a servant of the whole?
I am indeed.
All right, smash cut from that. I'm not gonna top that, but I just want to put it out there that Young actually is starting to like Khorton.
So I double checked, and porcupines can smell very good. So I would like for Stuart and I to go. I think we find something maybe called the vitamin shoppy.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to roll survival or investigate probably survival to find like maybe there's some oatmeal baths. I could feed the oats from it to the horses.
If you're in a vitamin shoppy, that's medicine, my friend.
Okay, good. I wasn't sure if I could just get medicine by going to the vitamin shoppy. All right, medicines. I want them.
I wonder how impenetrable this episode is if you don't know American stores.
I only rolled 10, but I'm gonna add that.
My prior reference to Sears was Googling American malls and being like, okay, what exists? What are names of places?
I got a 12. Can I roll with advantage because Stuart has a nose?
You can't just get advantage because someone has a
know.
nose. Imagine how you're going to make Khorton feel.
That's why I didn't say it while he was here.
We would have to give him disadvantage for not having a nose every time he rolls, and that's not sustainable.
No, it's because porcupines smell very well.
I was actually planning on bringing that up from time to time as appropriate. I thought it might be fun to mix it up and ask for disadvantage.
So you got above average, Lola, so you can find some food for the horses. Is there anything else you're looking for here that I can give you like half of?
Like bandages and shit.
Okay, so right now Vindrass has 2 of the Novocaine potions, so that's like 2 healing potions reflavored. I'll give you 1, so now the group has 3 total.
That's perfect, thank you.
All
so
right.
I get oats so we can... we'll use the oats to stop up the blood in Staples' hand, and then we'll feed them to the horses.
So Lola, you're in the vitamin shoppy. You get some oat products for the horses, and you get a bandage or 2. You don't have like a full medical supply. This place has been raided pretty thoroughly, but you get 1 healing item. Zur is with you. I imagine probably just grabbing stuff off the shelves and thrusting into his arms. He's your little pack mule. That's the kind of relationship you all have.
Well, if the oats are up really high, then I can't get them.
Oh yeah, and he can fly, so anything you can't reach. That's fun. So yeah, that's like kind of like me and you, where you like get that off the shelf, Austin.
This is dumb and not important. I'm like, what if at the top of like a shelf there's like a baseball cap, and I'm like, this is my new hat now, and I wear it backwards.
Oh wait, for you, because you're wearing a straw hat. I thought you were gonna make him wear a baseball cap. You're like, I'm enforcing my will on this NPC. They're a baseball hat guy now.
Well, I like that too. We can cut little holes for his ears.
Oh, that's cute. Sorry, fan artists.
I mean, clothing you can take on and off. He's gonna have to wash it at some point, right? He's gonna get bat juice.
No, don't say bat juice.
Bat juice.
Okay, I just wanted to say, as you're walking through the vitamin shoppy, I don't know. That's very funny to me. I wonder if that's gonna be annoying to the audience. Okay, so as you're walking through the vitamin shop, Zur says to you, "Hey, Lola, how are you feeling about the, the perverts?"
You mean Khorton and Vindrass?
Yeah, I mean, you needed them earlier because like Vindrass is a walking fortress, and Khorton has magics and so forth. But we got like 100 people in this boat now, man. Do we really need those sickos?
I mean, they're
always getting stabbed and kidnapped. Listen, your friends, I'm not trying to say anything mean about your friends. I'm just saying we got to prioritize Sabrina, right? We're in agreement on this?
Well, here's the thing for now. Here's the thing.
The accents come and go, folks.
Oh, boy. Well, here's the thing. I'm not going to turn my back on people who had my back. But that doesn't mean I'm not paying attention, because if they're gonna... Right now, they're still helpful, and they haven't necessarily done anything wrong. Khorton got his nose cut off. That sucks. You can't really like watch a guy get his nose cut off and then be like, "Hey, bitch, get out of my boat."
So it's like a sympathy thing.
Well, yeah. I mean, like we've kind of worked as a team. But that doesn't mean if they transgress that I will let that go.
Ooh, transgress. I like that. That's a fun word.
Isn't it?
Yeah. I'm just saying, though, like, they brought in this Staples feller, and that seems kind of rough, I don't know how I feel about that. Do you having second thoughts about her?
I mean, she's a little off the wall, but she she tends to bleed a lot and seems to have no problem helping using that for our horses. So I mean,
I think she makes Young nervous.
well, yeah, we're gonna keep an eye on that too because he's just a precious little baby.
They
Just a precious little baby.
But we're on the same page vis-a-vis the Wolfram, right? Because, like, that's what your group got me interested in. It was like this little child throwing exploding knives at me. And you were pretty sassy, too, and I liked that. And I never really vibed with the other two. But you seem to be, that your priority is Sabrina. And I think we agree on that, right? That's where we are right now?
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not trying to enforce, my will on her. But I would like to be here to allow her to have the strength, confidence to make her own decisions about things. Cause like, yeah, she's a child, but I mean, that's a lot of weight on a kid.
You're a good bean.
That's why my name is Lola Beans. I'm gonna tip my hat like a cowboy,
Zer tips his new hat, because now you're hat buddies.
and then he turns it backwards because he's real cool. Ooh, are there sunglasses in the vitamin shoppy?
I haven't been into a vitamin shop, but do they sell sunglasses?
No, but
We
they're
can't keep
usually-
dressing everyone up.
No, this is secretly it's my outfit coordinator, Sim.
Yeah, Lauren's like, I'm bored with D&D. I'm actually playing The Sims right now.
I put like those really those not really cool in quotation marks. But you're from Florida, like you know what I mean, like the manly sunglasses.
Mm-hmm.
They're like
yeah.
rectangular. I don't know, but I think that'd be fun if he was a bat with a backwards hat and some sunglasses.
It would definitely be cool. Thank you for completing the look.
So, I have something very important I want to do, Austin.
Yep, lay it on me.
It's very important, I believe. Sabrina at least would believe.
Yeah, this
that,
build-up is leading me to believe it's not, but go ahead.
It's very important.
Okay.
In all the stories she's read, to defeat evil, the hero has had a magical weapon.
Oh my god.
And what place in the mall would have more weapons than your local confusing Japanese weaponry store that sometimes exists in malls? So usually also a sports paraphernalia store.
The knife shop.
Okay, this is incredible. What kind of role do you think this entails?
Oh, persuasion, definitely.
What?
Well, I mean, you're trying to persuade the DM to let you have this.
You joke I'm 100% prepared for this, so who looks like the asshole now?
I guess because I'm gonna be a weeb performance.
No, there's no one to perform. This is investigation. I shouldn't have asked. That's on me. I shouldn't have asked. It's investigation.
Yeah, why did you give him a choice?
And let me ask you, why should anyone be... What, you want a fucking cookie for expecting that your players might want a magical weapon when you put them in a place and gave them free reign to go do what they wanted?
This is so harsh. Poor Austin.
Yeah, no, he got me. That was a good burn.
I got a 4. Does that get it?
Oh.
Or because of his burn, should I get advantage? I'm just gonna roll now, so you can't question it.
Get advantage because Zer went with you.
Okay, so Sabrina fails, and here's what happens. Okay, there's actually a couple of things. So you're going off on your own because you do not have an NPC who really is bonded to you, I guess, except for Clamuel Jackson, who you're holding as you walk away. You're holding the mascot costume. As you approach the store, what's it called?
Wuzzy Fall.
Okay, if that's a joke, I don't get it.
It's the name of my store, which is the first letter switched around. We actually did sell Japanese swords for a short period of time.
God damn, that's so much. That's so much. So Sabrina, you enter the store and you start looking around, and most of the stuff is useless junk. There's a lot of like swords that if you use them once they break, or there's stuff that just like is replicas of stuff from movies. You don't know what a movie is, I guess, but you can tell it's not useful or helpful. There are 2 items in this shop which catch your eye. One is a lute, a magical a musical instrument.
Khorton plays one for fun.
It's a musical instrument, but it seems to be made out of wood. Specifically, it seems to be made from some kind of magical wood because it has not aged. And there's like a placard in front of it that says like ancient bardic lute or something.
Is there a happy face on the back?
There sure is.
Hell yeah!
Elsewhere in this shop, there's another antique which catches your eye. It is a sheath for a sword. This one, you don't really see what's special about this sheath. It does also look ancient, and it has a placard in front of it which says Salamander Sheath.
Khorton also has one of those that he uses for fun.
So could I try to fit my dagger into the scabbard?
Ew.
Fuck off. Okay. Okay, so you actually failed. So here's what happens. As you walk over to see the salamander sheath, you pull out your little knife, your ice dagger, and you go to fit it in. And then when you pull it out, so first of all, the knife is way too small. This is for a sword, a fully sized sword. You pull the knife out after it doesn't fit, and there is a gout of flames that comes with it. You essentially yank a sword's worth of fire out of the sheath, which goes streaking across the shop and into the wall, and immediately catches the wall on fire. So this place is just on fire as soon as you touch it. Basically, that's part of this failure.
Okay.
Yeah. And the other thing,
I should probably go for the loot then.
So that's the choice you have to make. There's enough time to grab one of these. Also, the place is on fire. You failed, so.
So, yeah, well, that's understandable. I want to note real quick, Wuzzy Fall also sells magazines and books, so it is technically also kind of a library, too, so we can just check that one off the list. I'm going to grab that loot!
Okay, so the sheath shoots fire into the wall, catches this store on fire. You, panic, run across, you pick up the loot, and just hoof it out of the store as it burns behind you.
Yeah, well, can I, close the gate behind me? Can I, I get, the hook and I close the gate behind me?
Make a little sign that says closed due to fire.
Okay, so Sabrina, you have cradled in your arms this lute made of a tree. You cannot use it because you cannot play the lute. Khorton carries an assortment of magical instruments with him, I think, but he never brings them out because he casts spells using glossolalia. So I don't know if you're even confident he can play this. Is that your reason?
I like to think that she was trying to find something nice for Khorton.
To make up to him the fact that it's your fault his nose got ripped off?
I mean, it's not my fault that he botched his attack. I don't take blame for that. That plan would have worked very well if Khorton had used his attack had been effective. So no, but I feel bad that it happened.
Some sass.
Well, yeah, so let's role play now. Sabrina, you're running back to the skiff. Vindrass, you're coming back with an armful of food. Khorton, you're coming back with these bolts of fabric that you're going to use to disguise the skiff. And I guess Lola, you come back with oats for the horses. So you're all mission accomplished. And then here comes Sabrina just hauling ass, holding a lute as the sounds of approaching flames crackle behind her. Why don't you play this scene out?
I got you something.
Here
you go, Khorton.
It's lovely.
It's a magic lute.
Did you also get us a big distraction? Because that looks like a fire over there.
Is that... You brought us a big fire?
Is that a strategic... Do you have a plan with this fire?
It was planned. That way we can use it as a distraction as we leave.
Right. This is a wonderful gift, White Wolf. It's a wonderful gift. We should also perhaps leave.
Don't you want to try it out first?
I do. But I also think we should live, and I will play it tonight. How about that?
That sounds awesome. Let's live.
As you all start throwing your stuff into the skiff to leave, I think Khorton, you hear a voice ring out inside your head. It's like someone's shouting right next to you, but you can look and there's no one there. And it says this simple phrase that shakes you to your very core. And that phrase is... Sports Authority.
No!
What does it mean?
Can I roll history on the Sports Authority?
So Khorton, as he's running, with this, carrying this fabric into the boat, he stops and his hands go to the sides of his head. He says, I'm receiving a vision.
Oh, fuck, I didn't even think of that. Shouldn't have characters talk in your head.
Hey, quickly, Austin, is Sports Authority a shop that you find in an American mall? Is that what's happening? Okay.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a chain of sporting goods stores. Yeah.
It's just a bunch of sports shit, which I guess could be useful.
Very, very. Yeah. So, yeah. I'm hearing a voice. It's a sign. It's Sports Authority.
Now, can I roll?
We must seek it out.
History on Sports Authority.
Please roll history on Sports Authority. Yes.
I botched!
Oh my God, Lola, you hate sports.
I got 10.
14.
8.
Okay, so we got 2 averages. So you all think well enough to look at the map on the wall and figure out one of the parts of this mall is labeled Sports Authority. So you got that in the bag. But with a botch, I want to say, Lola, you become absolutely convinced that whatever sports is a trap. You hate sports. If you see so much as a ball, you're gonna fucking go bonkers and yonkers. You hate them.
I don't know if we should go there. Well, okay. I don't know if I should go there. I
Good.
think
Stay with the boat, Lola Beans.
Okay, can Zer stay with me so I'm not all alone?
Make sure the fire doesn't burn down the Romance Dawn.
Yeah, so the fire
Can Zer stay?
the fire is spreading, but the Romance Dawn is in an immediate danger. And I think Zer looks at Lola and shrugs and says, I was looking to try those oats anyway.
Oh, yeah, you want to try some oats?
Zer just reaches over to the shark horses and just takes some bloody oats out of his mouth and just starts chewing on them.
How is it?
Disgusting.
I've heard this ancient method for making a porridge type thing. You take some oats and you soak them in some kind of liquid all night. It's some kind of delicacy. I don't know if you've ever tried that. Maybe we shouldn't leave them in the blood all night, but a different liquid.
I just Googled this. Although flying foxes are commonly known as fruit bats, their favorite food is actually the pollen and nectar of eucalypt blossoms.
Oh, so they like to get high.
I don't know if eucalypt is the same thing as eucalyptus. I assume. Is there a dispensary in this mall?
No, in the 70s, absolutely not. It was criminalized back then.
Well, the building could have been made in the 70s, but the store's probably changed out on the regular. There could be like a True Leave or a Harvest or...
It really depends, I think, on how successful this mall is. Can we roll for success of mall?
No, here's what's going to happen. Lola and Zer are going to pop into the True Leaf. That's what it's called?
True Leave, like true and believe.
Oh, okay. And you all are going to just go choose some random leaves and see if that does anything. Do the rest of you go to the Sports Authority?
Hell
Yes.
Yeah.
So you follow Khorton. So this fire is spreading throughout the mall, but none of you really care, I assume, because you're trying to get out of here. You're not like sentimental about this building. And you run into the Sports Authority, which is very it's very different than other stores you've seen. Like the carpet, or I don't even know, the tile, I guess, is like green, almost like to simulate grass, and the walls are painted like the sky, and there's like giant soccer nets.
A lot of black and white stripes.
Yeah, there's these figures that they're mannequins wearing these black and white striped clothes you don't understand. Khorton, maybe you think it's a religious thing.
Yeah, it seems very ceremonial. In fact, we might adopt some of this, because...
Yeah, your new uniform.
If the priest robes for your cult become fucking referee uniforms, I'm gonna lose my entire marble.
But what if consider like those running tank tops that are like cut on the sides, and then like the really short men's shorts?
Mm-hmm.
That's better.
So Khorton, you lead the rest of the party into this Sports Authority, and you like look around briefly, and then you hear the voice come back again and say, "In the corner, man."
Oh, who is it? He sounds like a stoner.
Oh, so Khorton looks in the corners.
Yeah, you go over into the corner and you see that there is there's a tile above you that's a little bit askew, as if somebody went up there. How do you? I mean, you can go alone. You can bring the people with you, but in the corner of the Sports Authority, somebody's in the ceiling and they're talking in your mind. I don't know how you feel about that.
That sounds like a great name for an album. There's somebody in the ceiling and they're talking in your mind.
It's like that cat that's watching you.
Ceiling cat, yeah.
Yeah. Ceiling cat, yeah. Yeah, it's like
I mean, It's Like That Cat Who's Watching You would also be a really good album name.
It's like that cat who's watching. Yeah, actually, I would buy that album. So Khorton's gonna turn to the rest of the group and say, and hold out both of his hands, palms up. Wait here. I sense a presence. And he's gonna turn and poke his head up.
Do you take the loot that Sabrina got you?
Yeah, he'd still be holding
It's
it.
an important loot.
Okay, so I want to say that gives you +2 to spell attacks and +2 to spell save DC.
Oh, good. That would be good things to know right about now, huh?
Do you want some extra AC before you head up, or you're feeling all right?
I mean, I could probably use a little.
If you're going up alone, I'll cast a Shield of Faith on you to give you +2 AC.
Yay! That's very helpful. Thank you.
So I don't like to stop and literary analysis our own story here, but I think Khorton's in a really interesting place. Obviously losing his nose is a big thing, but also failing to recruit so many people, and now he's got an instrument instead of his fake glossolalia thing, because he's not actually receiving visions, but now you are hearing voices in your head and you have a musical instrument. I don't know, internally, before I reveal who's up here, are you feeling any different about all this? Or are you still just no, this is all fake, I'm just trying to get meat shield, so if people ever come for me, they'll die for me?
He doesn't know what to think right now, because he's been
Through a lot.
really, really high, then lost his nose, and is still not entirely sure that he's ever come out of that.
Oh, interesting. So this is almost like a religious experience. You're
Right.
in the desert on ayahuasca.
Yeah, yeah. He's operating strictly on survival instinct at this point.
And so when you push the ceiling tile out of the way and go up there and you see a man cross-legged in the ceiling of the mall, you think you're on ayahuasca, I guess. So you pull yourself up. He does not greet you. He's just sitting there, legs crossed, eyes closed, almost as if in meditation. He sent a message into your mind, so he has that power at least. You don't know what other powers he has, but he just is sitting there pretty calmly. His skin is yellow, not like jaundiced. This is not a human. This is a humanoid with yellow skin. But otherwise, they look pretty human. You would need to roll to know more.
Yeah, let's see. Would that be nature?
Yeah, nature.
9.
Yeah, you don't know much about this person. They look like a yellow humanoid. You assume I think maybe you just know the name. Gith. Gith. And that's it.
Oh.
You've heard of yellow people before.
Okay.
But that's all.
So Khorton, with his head sort of poked up there, and said, "Did somebody call me?"
Yeah, man, it's me. Come on over. Sit down.
You're gonna crawl up into the space. It's pretty narrow, I would assume, up there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cramped. There's wires up here for the fans and the air conditioning and stuff. There's insulation. It's really scratchy if you rub into it by accident. He doesn't seem like he's living great up here, and you see a lot of discarded cans. He was probably eating from the same stash that Vindrass just raided. And he's probably really sweaty and gross, honestly.
Well, I mean, sweaty's never been a problem for Khorton.
Fair enough.
So he's gonna, he's gonna be real squished in because he's not a small person, but he'll make his way in there and try to sit across facing this person.
Yeah, this man is actually pretty small. He's very thin, very gaunt. He's legs are folded up, very gracefully. He doesn't open his eyes, but he still speaks into your mind and says, "How does the day find you?"
Oh. I thought you were talking to someone else.
Nah, man. You're the man. You're the guy. You're the dude. You're the bro. You're the fella. You're the lad.
You know a lot of nouns.
Well, thank you, man.
So, okay. If I'm the man, what brings the man to you?
Well, man, you kind of just set my house on fire.
Oh. did not know that.
Yep. Well, it's only going to get worse. There's people coming.
It's funny you should mention this, that, we came along, burned down your home, because we're in the process of setting up a new home anyway. It's funny you use the weird, but it's I like to think of it as sort of a free love, commune sort of arrangement.
Jesus.
Exchange of ideas and fluids, and
Fluids.
yeah, I mean, you'd be welcome to join us. I bet we could make a little bit of room in this skiff, considering what we did to your house. Or, I mean, drop you off somewhere?
So why don't you roll persuasion before any of this unfolds?
Sure. How about a 23?
Oh my god, it took 8 episodes, but Khorton actually made somebody like him.
Hey!
Woo! God damn.
So this Gith says to you in your mind, I like the cut of your jib, man. The name's Weaver.
Weaver, I like it. Very, it speaks to someone who's deft with their fingers.
Oh my god.
At that point, I think he unfolds his legs and kind of leans forward and gives you a hug. Just like a really chill, we're both high hug. Not romantic. Just yeah, man.
Sure.
You've been in one of those hugs before.
Yeah, oh yeah, I've been in a cuddle puddle.
Yeah.
For sure.
And then he takes you by the hand and starts leading you somewhere in the ceiling. I just realized how silly that sounded in my head, but it's what's happening.
Okay, yeah.
And he takes you to, there's a maintenance exit out up onto the roof of the mall. And he takes you out there where you see the sun is setting over the salt flats. You see the castle is circling the mall, trying to figure out where you're going to escape from so it can run you over. And you also see something if you roll well on perception, which you should try to do now.
Oh, well, now, you see, this is where the dice will fail me, you see.
Is this all of us or just Khorton?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just Khorton, who rolled a 6.
Jesus Christ.
Khorton's the only one who's with Weaver, so you look out over the flats and you don't see anything but the castle. And Weaver looks over at you and he says, don't beat yourself up, man. You don't got the sight.
Yeah. Okay. So what am I looking for?
Listen, man, people come by here to raid the building. They take some food, they take some weapons, they take some whatever they can find, and then they go. It's fine. It's no thing. There's plenty to share. But not all the people that come by can be reasoned with. Some of the folks out there, they're too far gone. And they're out there right now. It's bad, man. They're going to be here soon, brought by the giant fire you started. It's like a beacon, like a lighthouse to all the bad folks out there.
Oh no.
You don't say.
I do say. I don't know if you and your friends are going to make it without the sight.
Well, we better get a move on then.
If y'all get in the boat now and just head out there, you're going to run right into the teeth of the thing. A wave of bodies, snapping and biting, jaws and teeth and claws and all manner of knives. It's bad, man. You don't want none of that. I think you need to stay here and prepare. We need to fortify.
That's not the only thing that's coming. And there's something else a lot closer that we're running from.
Yeah, he sees the castle, but he's telling you there's something else out there he's more afraid of. What are the rest of you doing in the Sports Authority?
Looking for anything that can be used to deal with the salt situation, like any handheld fans we can use to blow some sand, some of the salt away. Anything we could dissolve the salt down with, just anything to make us less detectable on the salt.
Okay, yeah. Well, actually, why don't you roll me Arcana? This sounds weird, but I'm thinking of chemistry almost as a kind of magic. There's no chemistry roll.
Yeah.
But the two of you, Vindrass and Sabrina, are left in the Sports Authority.
11.
I got a 5.
Yeah, that's not going to do it. So you can walk around. You see hockey sticks. You don't know what those are. You see footballs. You see cleats. Nothing that you think is going to accomplish this particular mission.
Are there jerseys?
Yes.
Is there a blue one with the number 10 on it?
God damn it, are you going to dress Sabrina? I was trying to keep a little bit of fictional difference from our world. Are you going to dress her up in a Manning jersey?
Yep. It's happening
No.
now. It's
God
happening.
damn it. This is going to completely sink the HBO deal.
They already are working with the NFL.
I think while you're doing this, so you fail in your task, but I think something interesting happens, which is you're looking at the jerseys, Sabrina, and you hear a voice in your arms, I guess, and it says, "Mama."
What's that?
Christian Snail.
I want to look down at Clamuel Jackson.
Yeah, so elementals can speak, but this one was just too young.
Oh.
Baby on board. Can we find a baby on board magnet to put on the boat?
Oh, heck. Now they can't attack our ship because it would be very, very rude to attack a ship with an infant
It's a
on
baby
it.
on board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You put the little diamond thing. You suction cup it to whatever.
So you look down into the mascot head, and inside is this gooey wood pulp creature, and it has very rudimentary language. So even like a full-grown fire elemental will just say like "burn, burn." They're not great conversationalists to traditionally elementals, but this one can talk.
Cause you talk to it.
Aw. I want to wrap him up in another jersey. Clan head. It's OCU Manora's jersey. And
Fuck off.
and I want to like tickle the belly.
Wait, are you trying to would you want to build a football golem?
Yeah, I think so. Can I change the mascot in for a football helmet?
Do you want to build a snowman? But
Can I build a New York
Do you
Giant?
want a football golem?
yes, Chris, please walk us through this.
All right, so I'm going to change the helmet out for a New York Giant helmet. And there's already like a mannequin, I guess, that's wearing all the armor. And it's, of course, the Giants because they're the best team ever. And I just want to put the helmet on top of that. And it becomes a full-grown football golem, right? Because it just takes over the whole body.
Yeah, the pulp can like ooze throughout and kind of control it like a fucking musculature. That it doesn't make any logical sense, but magic is involved, so eat me, I guess.
Is this a full man-size golem, or would it be like from the kids section? Because it's still a baby.
Well, I guess she would have had to do it from the kid size section because she couldn't get to the top of a man-sized mannequin.
You couldn't get the top. Baby football. 2 babies.
So Khorton comes downstairs.
Look, Khorton, your new child.
Oh no, I hate that. Lola, meanwhile, you're trying to get some leaves. How's that going?
Maybe I can I have some of these pain patches? Because those are a thing.
Yeah, why don't you roll nature, actually?
Nature. I love. Good damn. You think I'd be better at nature, but I'm not. It's 3. I got nothing.
Yeah, you just take a bunch of different leaves, and like you didn't botch, so I'm not going to hurt your character. But I think you should definitely role play some weird effects throughout the rest of the episode, or maybe 2.
I was gonna say, you know what might be a good idea, sir? All these weird wadded up sticky plant balls. Maybe. I mean, I don't know how fire works. Maybe we throw them on the fire and that'll put it out.
Okay, they're gonna find you two just throwing leaves into the fire as it approaches.
We're gonna be just smoking out the entire mall.
Just adding kindling.
Vindrass, do you want to do anything in the Sports Authority before Khorton gets back?
If I've been unsuccessful in my attempt to deal with the salt, is there anything here that looks heavy that in a worst case scenario we could launch at the castle to try and fight it? Like
Shot puts.
Shot puts maybe. I'm picturing something to the equivalent of, can we do ship to ship cannon fire?
So if you had taken the nice skiff, maybe it would actually have cannons. You took the worst one, so you had to figure out some way to fire the shot puts and discuses and kettlebells at the Castle Wolfram. I don't know if I've said that out loud. That's just the name of the castle, is Castle Wolfram. But so it's going to be
I
difficult.
have many arms. I can throw things.
I have spell slots to catapult.
All right. So we'll say that's probably gonna be limited. It's gonna be limited in its effectiveness. But if you want to do that, Vindrass, sure, put some shot puts in the skiff.
Sure, we'll give it a go.
As you walk back downstairs, Khorton, you and Weaver the Gith. Gith are just yellow humanoids. They have some other features that you don't know about right now. I guess the audience is aware that they're psionic or psychic. They have limited like telepathy and so forth. He's actually going to talk to you about that now. He says, "Listen, man, the site isn't something for everybody, but I really think it could help you out here." You and your friends, if you had it, man. If you're gonna pretend, you might as well.
And where would I develop this site?
Me, man, I'm the Dreamweaver.
Then welcome aboard, Dreamweaver.
So that's what you say as you open the tile and go back down into the Sports Authority. I don't know how the rest of you react to this sweaty, smelly yellow man who has come out of the ceiling.
I'm very excited because I'm going to introduce my new friend as well.
Yeah, let's all just get in a big role play pile here.
Yeah. Look, he got bigger.
Oh,
Mama.
we have 2 children now.
What?
No, he's a baby.
I mean, a baby is a kind of child. No. Oh, okay.
Oh, hey, Khorton, did you bring someone in?
Don't say it like that, Laura.
I hate it.
Weaver, I'd like to introduce you to Vindrass. They are very, very sensitive.
Awful nice to meet y'all. This universe brought us together. That's nice. You know?
And this is the White Wolf. And Sheldon.
His name is Humanura, because that's the jersey he's wearing.
God, spell that for the audience, Chris, you fucking asshole.
Humenyiora. He
Oh,
was
you
what
monster.
that was who we like to call it. Eagle killer. God damn it. Sack McNabb all the time. Go Giants.
I'd like to show up and be like, "Hello, I found leaves."
Weaver gives you the double thumbs up and goes, "Hell yeah, man. Love a leaf, you know?"
God damn, I knew these were valuable leaves. Take that, sir. You were wrong.
Well, since we're all together, Weaver, who has apparently been living here up until the point that we set his house on fire, has made me aware of perhaps a wrinkle in our problem.
Yeah, man. So, in addition to regular scavengers who come by and like take food and whatnot, there's some wild halflings out there. I don't know if you know about these guys. They're like little people. They're like, you know, like me or you, but like smaller. And man, they,
Like me?
Like me?
yeah, well, they kind of look like if Khorton was your size, mostly.
I want to have a very cute mental image.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah. Weaver says, yeah, they're kind of like what if Khorton was your size, and also they ate only things that have language and culture, you know?
So, people.
People. Yeah, they eat people. They can't be reasoned with. They're sharp all over. They cover themselves in just the grossest stuff, man. It's bad. Even if they get you a little bit, you're going to get infected. There's hundreds of them in the hills. Oh, man, it's going to get so bad in here in a minute.
How have you avoided them all the time?
Oh, I live in the ceiling, man.
Okay. All right, so maybe...
I mean, we could all hid in the ceiling, but somebody lit the dang building on fire, you know?
There's no time to worry about that. We should just forget about that, the fact that it happened, and worry about the situation now.
Would there be some... You know, I'm sorry, you said your name is what?
Man, my people call me the Dreamweaver. You can just call me Weaver, that's fine. Even Weave would be good, you know? Whatever floats your boat.
All right, I'm Lola Beans, this is Stuart Beans, and this is Sloth Green Beans.
Oh, there's
And,
a lot of names here. Do y'all have like a name for the group? Can I just refer to you as like a certain...
The Wolf Pack!
The Beanses.
Well, and those are two very good options. If you could maybe pick one, and then we could stick with it. That'd be real nice.
We can go with the Wolf Pack. once I have more animal friends, maybe we'll renegotiate.
I feel like no matter what name we suggest, we're going to get called the Wolfpack very energetically, and I think that we're going to have to live with that.
Yep.
So Weave, my dog. Is
Yeah,
there?
I'm a Gith actually, but I'd love to be a dog. They got loyalty, they got just the energy and the spirit that I enjoy.
It's a term of endearment, but I love to learn new things about people.
I
is
love a term
there-
of endearment. Can I call you sweetie?
Yeah, actually, yeah, I love to be called sweetie. I'm a sweetie who loves sweet tea.
Can I establish that I'm holding Numenora's hand
Aww.
so I can help guide them around?
Well, if the halflings are going to come this way, is there any chance that they would attack the castle floating around us?
Man, the thing, they're only knee high to a grasshopper, man. They can't get up the side of the thing. They're just really dangerous if you're on the ground like we are, especially if you're in a burning building or in a very small boat, perhaps, that they could kind of wash over like a wave of biting monsters.
Two scenarios that very similar to the ones we find ourselves in now. I see.
So what I would suggest, man, is y'all spread out and try to lock this place down, close up places so they all can't come in from every angle, and put out the fire if you can. Me and Khorton actually have some business to take care of. I don't know if he wants y'all to know about that right now. Man, it's just guy stuff, just fella stuff, just dude stuff, just hombre stuff, just chico stuff,
I don't understand what he's saying.
Vindrass has completely misunderstood what's occurring here and goes to give Khorton a high five.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say goes to give him a condom.
He's like, yeah, you two have fun.
You all prepare the mall for a zombie swarm. We're gonna go fuck.
I want Lola would like to try to find a vault or a freezer or something to store the horses in, so they don't get killed right away.
Vault is definitely better than freezer. Okay, so
I wasn't quite sure if I could think of any stores that would have vaults, but there's a lot of diamond stores, jewelry stores in the mall.
Yeah.
So.
So Lola, you're gonna try to save the Romance Dawn and the Shark Horses. So that's your thing. What are the other two of you? Start thinking about what you want to do. Lola, why don't you roll me that? Roll survival, I guess, to secret them away.
Well, I botched.
All right, Lola, you grab the reins of the Shark Horses and start taking them over to a diamond store to try to put the Romance Dawn in one of their vaults. First of all, the ship is too big to get through the door, but you try to fit it anyway, and you start making a hell of a racket, at which point a humanoid bursts through a window in this mall. This thing, you know what a halfling is, right?
Yeah.
In Dungeons and Dragons, they used to be called hobbits before Tolkien's estate got mad about that. But they're small humanoids covered in hair. But in Dark Sun, they are cannibalistic monsters. Their culture and civilization has been completely eroded by the apocalypse, and they are basically the hills have eyes cannibals. This creature comes through. It's covered in it has actually a necklace of bones on. You can see it has knives in both hands, and also has all kinds of blades tied all around its feet, disembowel you with kicks like a cat.
You
if it
can
gets
tell.
a hold on you.
You can tell the level of respect for the genre that the writers of Dark Sun had by what they did to one of the most treasured species races. I don't know, in fantasy literature, the halfling or hobbit, and they turned it into this horrible feral cannibalistic beast.
Absolutely, it's
for the edge.
It's explicitly a darker and edgier hobbit is what's going on. It shrieks at you, Lola, just and just fucking lunges at you. First of all, dexterity saving throw.
All right, dexterity. I rolled a 14.
All right. So you actually only take 1 damage. So it tries to slice you. You actually duck out of the way, and it just barely clips you. Very good. Now shoot it is how this is gonna work, because you botched. So I had to attack you first.
I think do a 26 and a 23 hit.
Yes, and these are minions. So they're going to swarm like World War Z, like hundreds of these things. So tell me how you put this one down.
I put one quill in one eye, and then Stuart puts another quill in the other eye, and they go into their brain.
Extremely metal. So Lola, you put the first halfling down, and then you have to finish putting this skiff away because you can hear them outside shrieking now as the sun finally sets. I need Sabrina and I need Vindrass to tell me how you're securing the mall because Khorton is going with Weaver to do something else.
Yeah. So you said that one of the priorities was trying to get the fire out, if possible.
It can be. You don't have to have the same priorities as the NPCs. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah. Okay. I think Vindrass is going to try and see if there's any kind of signs of a sprinkler system or anything that could put the fire out more than just a single person trying to fight it.
Yeah, that's going to be an investigation.
I have a positive number in that, so that could be worse. That's a botch.
It can't really be worse, can it?
No!
This fucking game.
Austin, can I have advantage because you feel bad for me because we've had so many fucking botches this season?
No, dexterity saving throws. One comes through the skylight and lands on you, Vindrass.
Okay. Crit on that.
All right, you also only take 1 damage, weirdly enough. It lands on your shoulders and pulls up its 2 knives and slams them into your like neck, and both knives just break off at the hilt because they're very brittle, and you're an armored insect person with an exoskeleton. So what do? This thing's on your shoulders now.
I think Vindrass is going to attempt to use one of her sets of hands to get this thing off of her, and the other set of hands to start swinging that axe baloney.
Yep. Roll an attack.
17.
Yep, paint me a picture how you do this. So it's on your shoulders, it sees your neck and it thinks, oh, this is an easy kill. Breaks both of its knives on your carapace. What do you do?
Yeah, so while it's still shocked, I think Vindrass is going to use the smaller set of hands to pull this thing up over her head and in front of her. And by the time it's hit the ground, the axe baloney is already swinging around and just smack right into the thing.
All right, so you just cut it clean in half with the axe?
That's the plan.
All right, its 2 halves fall, and I think one of them like goes flying across the room and knocks over like a standee that was in front of a fire alarm, and you see it says on it like, in case of fire, pull this.
I pull the thing.
All right, Sabrina, what are you up to?
So we're told these things are gonna like try to break in. Can I try to go to like some of the doors and like ice them closed? Using my Ray of Frost cantrip?
Yeah, this is Arcana, because you won't miss. It's just how well you do it.
That's a 19 there, Big Papa.
All right, well, so here's what happens. You go over the door, probably the one that Lola shattered on your way in, and you just start like freezing it closed, just making a wall of ice in front of it. You see something in the darkness running towards you on all fours, like a dog, and it's like slavering, and you see it like reach behind it as it like, gets close, it pulls out 2 knives, and it just runs into your wall. And I think if you want to, I mean, you're a child, I don't know if you'd think of this, you can like make an icicle come out of the wall if you want or something.
I think you should just keep freezing it until it freezes it in like a big ice cube, like Looney Tunes cartoon.
Oh, yeah, so it's just inside the wall.
Yeah, just like, arr!
That's great, yeah. So, Sabrina, you go around to all the doors in the mall and freeze them shut, and anyone who's trying to, like, bang on it to get in is just encased inside as you just make it thicker around them. That's sick.
Yeah, and I want to point to the wall of ice to you and Yor and go, that's ice. I make it.
Mama.
Yeah. All right, let's go.
Khorton, where do you want to experiment in the site, as Weaver calls it? Is there a store in a mall you'd feel most comfortable in? If you say GameStop, we can't be friends anymore.
Oh, God. No, GameStop is specifically engineered to be uncomfortable. There's no way to be comfortable. Now, a good tobacconist, that's inviting.
So you want to go to the cigar shop? I've never been in one. I don't even know what they're called.
Okay, well, I mean, it's a 70s style mall. Okay, so there might have been a video store, and so there might have been a section in the back behind a curtain that's real discreet and private.
God, fuck me. How did I not see that coming?
No, but that'd be a good place to do something like this. That's, very discreet and private. And
okay, no, actually, I do like this. I like the idea of 2 sweaty men, like, getting behind the fucking porn curtain in the 70s blockbuster, and they're gonna teach each other psionics.
They're just going to explore each other's minds together. It's a very,
it's perfectly natural. It's healthy.
It's a very intimate thing between 2 people.
So Wizards of the Coast has published a number of psionics material in their Unearthed Arcana series. None of it has made it into any of the official books because psionics are hard to balance, but they're an important part of Dark Sun, so I couldn't not do them at all. Here's what's going to happen is that the Gith are naturally psionically gifted. They have mind powers. Khorton, you pretend to have some kind of otherworldly powers, but you don't. What kind of power would you be interested in training in with Weaver? I will read you the feats that were published in the most recent psionic options on Earth Arcana. They are metabolic control. You have refined psionic control over your body's functions. That's the first one.
Yeah. Sorry, go on.
Telekinetic. You learn to move things with your mind.
Also very hot.
Telepathic. You awaken the ability to mentally connect with others.
Well, I mean...
Tower of Iron Will. Your mind...
I got a Tower of Iron Will I can
God
show
damn
you.
it. Your mind's defenses are formidable, is what that says. And wild talent. You awaken to your psionic potential, which enhances your mind or body.
Metabolic control is interesting because you just don't have to eat.
And honestly, if we're being completely honest here as men, I think there's some metabolic controls I would like to have over. I'm just saying.
Yeah, right, yeah.
In your line of work,
That's right.
roll to decrease refractory period is all I'm saying.
If I meditate for 1 minute, I get the benefits of a short rest.
That is sick.
Right? Yeah, no, metabolic controls, I think what we're going to go with for Khorton. He's all about controlling his body, if you know what I mean.
We know what you mean.
It feels very Khorton, right? I think anybody else would have picked telepathy or telekinetics, but you having the mental control to discipline your own body feels incredibly in character. So you're crammed into this porno booth with this smelly stoner. Very good. You're like I was almost said nose to nose. I didn't even think about it.
Austin, how could you?
So do you have a picture you want to paint here? I was thinking basically you enter like almost like a group meditation together, and he's going to try to like break down your barriers with his telepathic powers. Do you have any flavor that you want to try to weave with me here?
I like to imagine that like the 3 walls of the booth, because, the one's just a curtain.
Yeah.
Right? The one wall's just a curtain. And the other 3 walls, they all fall away. And into, like, empty space. And the curtain's still there. Hanging just in the middle of empty space. But it's just nothing but a star field while the 2 of them are having this communion.
Can Careless Whispers be playing on the old speakers?
Yeah, there's a Muzak version of Careless Whisper.
I want Weaver to like look deep in your eyes though, Khorton, and say like, "Hey man, let's just be honest with each other, here in the mindscape. Like, what is holding you back, man, from unleashing your full potential?"
I didn't know I had potential. I'm just trying to survive out here.
Everyone has potential, man. It's just like, that's the experience of life. You start off and you're like a little seed, and you sprout up, and you have the whole world of potential out there for your leaves to get in, your roots to get in. You just got to get in,
No. I mean, I do know. I've been known to get in from time to time, but...
You keep leaving him so many openings, Austin.
So many openings to get in.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, Khorton will take any opening.
But what I'm saying, man, is like in the mindscape, you have all these barriers up, man. You're not letting people in. You got this Vindrass, and she loves you, man, and she trusts you. And you got this little kid, and she's looking up to you, and you aren't letting them in, And you got the sloth, and I know on some level you think he's got a good snout, and you won't let yourself feel those snout feelings.
Well, hey, at least he's got a snout.
Weaver's like asking you though, like to be honest with him in a way you haven't been with anyone else to try to unlock your powers. He's like, man, what do you want, man? What are you trying to get from the world, and what are you trying to put back into it?
All I want to do is be safe and have a safe place with other people who aren't afraid of anyone.
But man, what's safety if you're all alone, man? You're safe at the bottom of a big hole.
I'm trying not to be alone. I'm trying to get everybody together I can. And no one's responding. And I gotta tell you, I'm not used to it because I feel like I'm getting old or something. And, now the nose thing, that's just, that's a whole other thing. I mean, do you think the veil's working? Because the veil kind of feels like it's working.
It gives you a kind of a more dangerous aura, and some people might be into that, man.
So you're saying I should try and talk to Staples again?
Yeah, man, maybe. I don't know her that well. Where was he even going? I got lost in my own stoner persona and I lost my actual plot.
Like an actual stoner.
Like an actual stoner.
Yeah, exactly. But he says, listen, man, I'm going to tell you a secret. It takes most people their entire lives to learn, but I'm going to tell you right now, and that's that you can be alone with people. You know what I'm saying?
Is this fucking Pascal from Animal Crossing?
You know I haven't played an Animal Crossing since the GameCube. Don't taunt me in front of the listeners.
You know what I was talking about. I sent you pictures of him when he's coming to get my scallops.
Okay, I've forgotten this. He's just saying, Khorton, you can gather as many people around you, but
Right.
you can still end up lonely.
Right, yeah, and and Khorton stops for a second and says, well, I think the drugs have worn off. Because that makes no sense.
Interesting. So right now, Khorton's at a roadblock. I think it might take to the next episode for him to gain his psionic powers.
Yeah.
The rest of you, Vindrass, you pull the fire alarm and it begins pouring rain here, or like the sprinklers go off, but the fire isn't immediately out. It's spread for a while. So now this is a kind of dual environmental hazard where there's fire in some of the mall and then there's beginning to be like really slippery tile in some of the other parts of the mall. Do you want to do anything about that?
Would I be able to freeze some of the water that's on the ground, particularly one, like the length of, I don't know what the fuck you call the middle of a ball, tile, I guess, like the path in front of the Romance Dawn, so that if the Romance Dawn needs to make a getaway, it can like slide across the ice?
Yeah, so Lola put that Romance Dawn away, but if you want to create like an ice ramp to like launch it out when it's time to escape, you can absolutely do that.
Yeah, I want to do that 100%.
Okay, so that's something interesting. So the fire is starting to go out, and now Lola or Sabrina and Vindrass create an ice ramp together that when it's time to go, the ship can be like really speedily exited. You still have to figure out how you're going to get across without, so you can disguise it, you can disguise the ship as salt, but you still need something to confuse the fact that the God King can tell when things are touching the salt.
Would we be able to get a bunch of like canoes from the Sports Emporium or the Sports Authority, and when we launch ourselves out, we take the other canoes and then they'll go off in different directions?
Oh my god, so you're going to use the ice slides that you and Vindrass make to launch canoes all across the plains as distractions? Just a fleet of canoes?
Yeah.
That's such a good idea.
Oh, I was wondering how we'd be able to come up with a distract. That's brilliant.
Yeah, I'm just like,
That's very cool. Yeah, I like the idea of turning the mall into a canoe launching factory. Canoe, Cape Canaveral.
Cape Canoeval.
Cape Canoeval.
Fuck both of you. All right.
Can I steal this dead halfling's knives? Are they good knives? Can I give them dessert later?
So for role-playing purposes, you can take them. They're worse than regular knives, but...
Yeah, they're shitty knives. They broke off in my neck. They're weaker than my skin.
It's the thought that counts. Because I didn't see them break because I killed it first.
So as you're all making the final preparations to prepare the mall against an incursion and to set up your canoe launching machinery, you hear a voice boom from the direction of the castle. You look out the window and you see almost like a bridge slowly forming from the castle to the mall. The God King is like pulling up salt from the flats up along the bottom of the castle and forming it into a bridge because he has gotten tired of waiting.
No.
And the voice that calls out just says, Sabrina!
I don't know who that is. I'm the White Wolf.
I think it's time for us to get the fuck out.
It's funny that you say that, Sabrina, because you do recognize the voice. It is Gentleman Bramwell.
Oh, go Gentleman Bramwell!
You say that, and I think the person closest to you, who is, let's say, Staple, says, who the fuck is Gentleman Bramwell?
Oh, I want like a crazy sound effect to introduce him. Like, oh yeah, chicka chicka, like the
Bow,
bomb
bow, bow.
song from Ferris Bueller.
Yeah.
You should have told me that, so every time we said it earlier in the season, it could have been Gentleman Bramwell.
Bow,
Boom,
Well,
boom.
now it's happening now.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. But yeah, who is that?
Gentleman Bramwell is the coolest. He is a dwarf who is covered with tattoos all over his arms. He's pretty tall for a dwarf. He has a very big barbershop style mustache that it's extremely bushy, and he wears a big monocle, and he walks by doing lunches everywhere.
This sounds like a fucking Flapjack character.
Well, this is 100% a real life wrestler who's the coolest person in the world. So there you go.
So you see that Gentleman Bramwell is lunging bit by bit across this salt bridge that goes from the castle to the mall. What kind of weapon does he wield?
Let me see, actually. I think he wields a gigantic hammer.
All right, and he is a knight in service of the God King, but he is one of the only people who treats Sabrina with any respect and like care, as opposed to her neglectful father and his cruel underlings.
Now, I have a very important question. If Gentleman Bramwell there, is his mount there?
I know you just want to say the name of his horse, so just tell the audience.
It's certainly not a horse, good sir. His mount is a gigantic bull moose.
Yeah.
And its name is Preposterous.
I don't think it makes sense for him to be on Preposterous right now on a salt bridge over a sea of cannibal halflings, but if you wanted to make that happen, we can.
He's gonna die. The moose will die too. Oh no.
Why would he not be for this?
All right, so that's where we're going to leave this episode, is you're all trapped in a burning mall, and there's a bridge between the mall and the castle, and everyone's favorite character is riding a moose across the bridge, which is suspended over a sea of cannibal halflings. Congratulations on your D&D podcast, and good night.
My mission next episode is to knock down the bridge, but then save the moose, so then we'll also have a moose.